Hi, this is Howard Lichtman with the Human Productivity Lab, continuing our survey of telepresence and effective visual collaboration, coming at you again from San Diego, California at Telepresence World 2007. Today we're sitting down with Mr. Duffie White. Duffie is the president and founder of Telepresence Tech, one of the, and kind of if you'll excuse the expression, graybeard in the industry, the former CTO of Teleportech. Duffie, thanks for sitting down with us today.
Sure, pleased to be here.
Good. Now you've been in telepresence for quite some time. Can you give us a little history about Duffie White and what got you into the industry and what you guys do that's different from the other folks that are doing telepresence?
Okay. Well, I think I've been interested in this communication over a distance for such a long time. In fact, I first got interested when I saw the picture phone demonstration at the 1964 World's Fair. I was a college student at the time, went over there, saw this, and it was the first example of communication over a distance, and that kind of stayed with me as something that I was intrigued with. So when I actually started my first company in 1973, I went in the multimedia field and started producing programs that had a lot of this media capability. We did a lot of shows for AT&T and IBM and got a lot of input in terms of what's happening in the media field. But what I found was that there really was a need to communicate between a distance, and the video conferencing that was available didn't seem to capture that same kind of excitement that you see in the multimedia field. So I wanted to bring something special to it. I wanted to bring a sense of depth, a sense of reality. And most of what was being done was very much flat. And I had to find some way to do this, other than doing something wearing like 3D glasses and that sort of thing, because that just wasn't going to work in communication between people. So I spent a number of years.
It's got to be invisible. It's got to be transparent.
Well, it's got to be something as natural. And there are ways to create 3D effects other than using the stereoscopic imaging that you would have with some of these kinds of systems. And I found that working with superimposing images, and it really sort of came around from work I was doing with two-way glass, where we could actually get what was standard kind of Pepper's ghost effects, which is something way back in history was something people had done. But we combined that with eye contact, and this was something in the early 1990s. We really developed our own methods for that, put in some patent applications in early on. I was actually living in the UK at the time, and by the time we got around to the late 1990s, I really resolved the format, put that in, got that patent approved, and we did our first transatlantic telepresence effect in the year 2000. And then off of that, got a lot of interest in the technology, and so 2001 we actually had Arthur C. Clarke transmitted in from Sri Lanka. And
I've seen photos of Arthur presenting remotely.
Yeah, that was fun. And what I did find though was that in the format that we're using, which was having an image displayed and have a piece of glass that you view across this, it reflects the image. And so you see through this glass, you see this reflection the camera sees through from the other side. It's like a teleprompter, which actually it's used pretty common in television. People look at the text and there's a piece of glass in there. Well, that format had certain capabilities. It was good in some ways, but it created a flipped image, and that reversed image, it was one problem, but also it made the system fairly bulky in the way we worked with it. So in 2004, I went ahead and put in another patent for a different application that allowed us to still have the eye contact, but have a direct view of the image, and at the same time create depth, where you actually have what will be an image of a person appearing in front of you, having eye contact with that person, and then the depth cue of a background behind them. And it was a different approach. In fact, that patent got approved. So we're now producing systems that have all the advantages of this format, and it is being used in 14 countries around the world. So it's actually turned out to be something that's been adopted in many applications and is working very effectively.
So who's using telepresence tech solutions? What's the range of solutions? What are some of the applications that folks are using your technology for?
Okay. Well, what we find is that there are a number of applications, but they always seem to be something where a person has a need to communicate in a more effective manner. Think about video conferencing. In many cases, as long as you see a group of people in the other location and the two of you are communicating, it's a bit better than just an audio call, and it may serve the purpose. But there's other times when people really have a need to feel that they're connecting with a person in that dialogue. As an example, in banking, customers haven't felt comfortable going into a bank, sitting down in a room where no one's there and being on camera. And it's like, hold on, I'm just really not comfortable with this. And like customers just would reject video conferencing as a way to speak with a banker in, let's say, the main office. So what we found, though, was that if we could have that banker appear across the table, have eye contact with you, and have that sense of presence in the room, three-dimensionally present there, and you really know, just like you and I are looking at each other, so you can develop a sense of comfort, a sense of trust, a rapport with a person, when you're talking with them.
When you're getting all the innate nonverbal cues that are so important.
Yeah. Would you trust somebody if